All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to unpack a prediction that could seriously reshape not just how companies are run, but maybe your whole career. We're talking about the end of management as we know it.
And look, this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy. This is a pretty bold claim from Kevin Kruse, the CEO of LeadX. And his thesis is built on what happens when two massive forces collide. A world that's become way too chaotic for our old structures, and a technology that's finally powerful enough to shatter them.
So, the core argument here is that the rigid top-down management style we've been using forever, it's just too brittle for today's world. You might have heard of a VUCA world: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Well, the thinking is we've graduated to something even more intense: a Bonnie world. That's brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible. And AI, well, AI is the hammer that's about to break those old models for good.
So what does this new world actually look like in practice? Well, believe it or not, the blueprint might already be out there, and you can find it at one of the most valuable, most innovative companies on the entire planet.
And this is where things get really wild. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, directly manages somewhere between 36 and 60 people. Yeah, you heard that right. His whole argument is that all those layers of management, they just slow everything down. They're like insulation that stops information and new ideas from getting through. And this radical approach has created a brand new benchmark for what efficiency can look like.
For decades, decades, this was the golden rule. It's what they taught in every business school. One manager for every 5 employees. It was the simple, reliable building block of the entire corporate pyramid. But AI just completely rewrites that math. The idea is, with a powerful AI assistant helping with all the analytics, the coaching, the planning, a single human manager can suddenly and effectively oversee 5 times as many people. They're even calling this new target the Jensen ratio. And if you just do the math on that new ratio, well, the implication is absolutely staggering. If one manager can now do the work of 5, that means 4 out of every 5 of those old-school frontline manager jobs could just disappear. Okay, that 80% number, that's a huge, kind of scary number, right? So before we start declaring the apocalypse for middle management, let's take a breath and look at what the data actually shows is happening on the ground right now.
So this is the big prediction from Kevin Kruse. A massive revolutionary shift over just 3 years. An 80% reduction in traditional management roles, all in the pursuit of that NVIDIA-style efficiency.
But here's the reality check. Change is happening for sure, but it's way more gradual. We are seeing manager roles being reduced, yeah, but it's more in that 6 to 20% range. And it's really concentrated in the sectors you'd expect, like tech and finance, which are always the first to jump on new technology.
And you know, there's a really good reason for this slower pace. Transforming a whole organization isn't like flipping a switch. First, there are the technical limits of today's AI. But honestly, the bigger hurdles are human. You've got cultural inertia, legal risks, union contracts, and just plain old organizational fear of massive, scary change.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's probably not about an overnight collapse. It's more about a profound evolution. The role of the manager isn't just going away, it's being reborn as this powerful partnership between a human and an AI.
Think of this new model as dividing up the work based on who's best at what. The AI co-manager, it handles all the data-heavy, analytical, repetitive stuff. And that frees up the human co-manager to focus completely on the things that, require judgment, strategy, and a real human connection.
Just imagine for a second having an AI partner that preps your meeting agendas, analyzes your team's chats for sentiment, tracks everyone's goals in real time, and even role-plays difficult conversations with you. It basically becomes this indispensable tool that handles the operational stuff, freeing up your brainpower for bigger things.
So what's left for you to do?
Well, your job really boils down to 4 critical human roles. You execute the plan. You monitor the AIs that are doing the work. You focus only on that vital 20% of decisions, the big stuff like hiring and strategy. And, maybe most important of all, you practice management by walking around. You're physically present, you listen, you encourage, you build trust. You do the human work.
So what does this all mean for your career? Well, being good with tech and knowing how to manage AI agents, that's going to be table stakes. That's the minimum. The real differentiator, the skill that will be priceless, is going to be elite emotional intelligence. Your ability to motivate people, to inspire them, and to make them feel safe in a world that feels really anxious and is constantly changing. This timeline really captures the whole debate perfectly. The change is real, it is happening now. The only real question is about the pace.
Is it going to be a sudden flood, like Cruise predicts, completely remaking the workforce by 2029? Or is it going to be more like a slower, rising tide, which is more in line with what Forrester is predicting?
And here's the thing. We don't really get to vote on whether this future happens. The tech is here, and the economic pressure to use it is just immense. The only real choice any of us have is how we respond to it. So the question isn't if your AI co-manager is coming, it's whether you'll be ready to lead alongside it when it gets here.